What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Aftercast. We had a week off, and now we're back. Episode 56. I'm your host, Victory Saber 77, and got some stuff we're going to talk about on the Aftercast. But before we get into that, let's get into some introductions. Dalton, start us off.
I'm Dalton. You can follow me on Facebook at Dalton NCF Reviews,
I'm
YouTube.
Dalton. Wow.
At least you got that first part right.
I'm Dalton. Wow. Oh,
Congratulations, he
You
remembers
can
his
find me
name.
on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Dalton NCFs. There.
You're too young to have senior moments, man. Too young.
I want to go to show on the.
He hasn't had to say his name for like a whole. He missed last week. Trying to remember his first name. So.
You have a show? Oh, excuse me. You have a show, Dalton?
Yes, I'm doing the Cartoon Mondays again on the 20th. It'll be over Darkwing Duck. So.
20th. Nice. Cool. Josh?
You can find me, G1 Hextron, on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and my Facebook page is the G1 Hextron.
Sweet. And you can find me Twitter and YouTube, Victor Saber 77. And we have some other shows. We have the Cybercast, which we have now up in video form on G1 Hextron's channel, but it airs every Saturday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. And we also have the eBay show, which airs once a month on Thursday, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, also on G1 Hextron's channel. Go check out his Facebook page, the G1 Hexatron, because he's got lots of stuff streaming over there. He's got the final Avengers 2 movie trailer. He's also got the new Transformers RID series over there. New episode's going to be streaming on tomorrow, I believe, and it's going to be on episode 15 or 16, one of those. But definitely check it out. And we're also looking for a female co-host. Keyword is female co-host. For the Cybercast. If you are interested or know of someone who might be interested, just email Josh at g1extron@gmail.com, and we're just trying to get a new perspective and just new take, and we have a really substantial female subscriber base, so we just really want to incorporate that into the show and stuff. But let's see what else. We also have the collector spotlight on the Cybercast. So if you want your collection spotlighted on the Cybercast, just email Josh at g1hextron@gmail.com. Pictures can be maybe 10 to 20, unless you have an extremely large collection, then maybe you could bump that up to 21. But it doesn't matter if it's small or large. As far as collections, we just want to check it out. It's just our personal hobby. So. We're collecting your collection pictures. No, not doing that. But we do have 4 in line right now, so you're about a month out. If you want to have an updated collection, as far as if you have stuff that you have coming in the next couple of weeks, you may want to submit your pictures a little bit later on down the road. But it will be spotlighted on the Cybercast. All right. What else is there? Let's get into hauls. We got about 2 weeks worth, I guess. So.
Oh God.
Better have more than one thing.
I do. I have 4 figures, 4 deluxes of Wave 2 of Combiner Wars.
Cool.
So, there.
Not going to say their names.
The Senecons and Air Raid.
All right. Cool. Nothing else?
No.
No. All right. Josh.
I got Combiner Wars Motormaster, and I also got in the DC Collectibles Batman Animated Series Man-Bat, Joker, and Robin. And I also picked up my first Hot Wheels little car. I had some as a kid, but I guess the first one that I have in my collection now. But it's a Batmobile, so from the 80s. It's the Michael Keaton Batmobile, or Tim Burton Batmobile, so
Nice.
figured to pick it up.
Sweet.
And that Joker looks pretty cool.
Oh yeah, all 3 of them, and can confirm that the joints are good. So.
Yeah,
Unlike
that's
Batman's.
cool. Yeah, I saw Batman. I saw your picture of Batman.
Yeah, man, I was just trying to put him in some kind of cool pose with Man-Bat, take some more pictures, and then his ankle broke off, and so I ended up ordering another one with some other stuff, but that'll be next week's haul, I guess. That's when that comes in. So yeah, I've gone through on wave 1, 3 Catwomans, and now I'm on my second Batman.
Well,
Mr. Freeze and Two-Face, I really didn't mess with that much, so that's probably one that didn't break.
that's just a shame. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
great line. That's probably one of the reasons why I haven't touched it yet. Waiting for that next re-release, I guess, because they're supposed to fix those problems. But
Yeah, I was kind of debating whether I should wait on buying the Batman again until that newest, like, hey, we've redone the Wave 1, but I was like, nah, I'll just get it. So
yeah, I do like the fact that Man-Bat there, he's comes in a big box, and he's the exact same price as the other
ones.
guys, like the Joker or like Robin and all that. I'm like, wow, I thought he would be at least commanding maybe a $30 around the $30 price range, but no, he's the same $24.99. I saw him at my Hastings. I'm like, wow, cool.
Yeah, it comes with 2 sets of wings, which is really cool. He also comes with some accessories. I think like some, like a set tape. I'm not gonna try to explain that to younger viewers what that is, but it's from one of the episodes. And 3 medicine bottles.
Oh,
So he's a pill popper. So
here's a good bummer.
Who's a bull hopper?
Man-Bat.
Man-Bat.
Oh.
Let's see. For me, I've gotten a lot of stuff. I've been on a third-party kick. I think I'm off of it. I think I've got my fill. But I don't know if I mentioned I got Fans Project Revolver, Rift Shot, Recoiler. So I got those now. And I picked up Toy World's Orion. So that's pretty awesome. What else did I pick up? Mech Ideas Gauntlet, Combiner Wars Series 2 Deluxe figures. So I got the same stuff as Dalton, the Stunticons, Air Raid, all that. I picked up the Combiner Wars Armada Megatron today, and I picked up my little one-step RID Mix-It. So he is my little orange drill tank, and as what Josh said, he could be my wheelie on my Brave shelf and stuff. So, and then I also picked up IDW 39, Transformers More Than Meets the Eye, because they had Dezaris on the cover. And the DJD. And also, I mean, all the other Victory characters are in there. You get, Leo Zach. I mean, all the other Breastformers, Dino Force is on there. I mean, it's Blue Bacchus. It's really awesome. No Black Shadow because I believe he's dead. Because of the DJD. So, but all right.
Kind of like the Suicide Squad, aren't they?
Yeah. Let's see. Starting off.
Jesus, Dalton, what do you got going on over there?
Yeah, you got a party going on, man. Let's hear it. Really don't have a lot of topics. I mean, I wanted to talk a little bit about Combiner Wars, just for the fact that, do you guys feel like, I'm a Chug collector. I know Dalton is a Chug collector too. And I know you've collected some Chug stuff in your collecting time too, Josh, because I remember seeing your old videos and stuff. But do you think the Combiner Wars is kind of rejuvenated a little bit as far as the whole Chug line? I mean, giving us characters that we haven't had in a long time, or at least better ones. And regardless of people like hate the Combiner Wars, stuff like that, we'll get into that stuff later. But what do you guys think?
Oh, Trent, what's up, man?
What's up? How's it going?
Pretty good.
And I gotta say yes.
Awesome.
I gotta say
Shorty,
the
we
same.
have
Directed to the point.
Yes, it is. Moving on. We're gonna have a short show tonight. So, but no. What were you saying, Dalton?
I've got to say, yeah, it's really rejuvenated the Chug brand, or Chug subline, I guess. Although last year's stuff really did pretty well.
yeah.
It did.
As far as, having updated combiners, it works. And
Would you say there's more excitement though now with Combiner Wars? Just wanting to get these figures.
I mean, yeah, especially being the latest. I mean, you kind of forced to be a completist with the aerial bots and just with the combiners in general than
Sure.
having a big Megatron figure, definitely.
How about you, Josh?
Well, as far as what they came out with, let's say if we're talking last year with just Chug figures, whenever you buy the figure, you like it, you transform it, and that's pretty much what it is. Well, with the Combiner Wars, you get that third element of being a combiner, but besides that, you also have the possibility if you want to get some of these third-party add-ons. And I pre-ordered both the hands and the chest and head stuff for Superion and Minosaur by Perfect Effect because I think it looks much better with it.
Yes.
And so that kind of opens up the possibilities as well, and people can get creative with this stuff if they want to, because there's other third-party companies that are going to come on with their add-on sets as well. So it's going to leave the door open for a little bit of customization there, and you getting kind of the way that you want it. And if you just bought a regular figure that's kind of a standalone, then you're limited with that. Maybe you buy some kind of Dr. Wu sword or Shapeways gun or something like that. But with this, you still have those elements, but now you have the combined element, and then you also have the third party that you can implement into the combined figure as well. And then plus, like the little hands, they break down and turn into little guns and stuff like that. So if you don't like dead ends, exhaust crowbar looking weapon thing, then you're gonna have some guns for them. So
I'm glad you brought up Shapeways because I think you've shown it before. The Bellformers guy, he's making individual weapons for all the Stenicons and I believe the aerial bots. And someone else is doing an arm replacement for Blades to where he's got the little skids on his arms.
Oh wow,
Oh.
that's cool.
So that's something I'll probably get for Blades and just try to color match it with the red.
Yeah, and I think somebody did like a double wheel add-on for Dragstrip.
Yeah, I think that was
that was Bellformers too.
Bellformers.
Oh, okay. Might have to
Yeah,
look
a lot
into
of these are
that.
great. And then Non-Up Productions, I'm actually going to pick this up, have created a new set of antenna for Superion.
Yeah, you told me
Solid
about
plastic.
And they're not too expensive either, like $6 or whatever.
Yeah, and they did the same
Yeah.
with Menasor. I think their second version of the horns is actually going to be a little bit shorter to match up a little bit more with the cartoon.
And like with the Perfect Effect hands and feet, those come apart and become the guns. So and I believe it's $30. So for $30, not only do you get some better feet, some better hands, but whenever you put them into their alt modes, which you can implement their the guns into their car modes or their robot forms as guns, you're getting that as well. So whenever you kind of justify it, let's say if you're talking $5 a weapon, for the 5 guys, I mean that's at $25 right there. So you're already almost at that 30 plus. Now you can combine those. There's a little bit of play feature there as well, and they become the hands and feet, which is I love the way that they kind of figured that out and made it to where it could be like that.
Yeah, I especially really want that add-on chest piece for Motormaster for when he's in Minosaur mode. That'll probably, hopefully, will like add some support to him. So
Yeah, it's kind of that abdomen waist area
yeah,
where it doesn't just go from huge chest to real small waist. It was
yes,
just that was the thing about it is people were like looking at it whenever we first saw it and they were just like, man, it's one extreme to the next. There's no kind of flow to it to where Superion or Silverbolt, in his Superion mode, it kind of goes in like this. It's the way that he's designed, and it's nice. That was the problem with Motormaster in Minosaur mode is it's just big block and then just small
yeah.
block, and then here's the legs kicking out. So
Yeah, I would definitely. I like the fact that you do have a lot of third parties out there that are making them better. I think they're good standalone, but it is nice to always get these added features to make them more um, like G1 if you want, as far as like weapons and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Um, but I don't know. What do you guys think about some of the hate that Combiner Wars is getting as far as yeah, I just don't like the fact that I mean I get Minosaur. I have Minosaur finally in hand, and I understand. Okay, he's blocky. He's kind of like okay, could be a little bit better. But for what it's worth, knowing that it's a kids line, it's not too bad. I mean, what
Hmm.
you guys think? There's justification. I mean, do you guys feel that, or what do you guys feel like the hate is about on some of this stuff?
Personally, think the hate's a little too extreme. I mean, yeah, it's a kids
Yeah.
line. I mean, yeah, I have my problems with Minosaur, but again, kids line. I mean, I can forgive it for that.
Yeah.
And some of these things, like with especially with Defensor, I mean, he looks like he's just way too blocky.
Hmm.
But it looks great. I mean, it's a toy, not a masterpiece.
Yeah. Well, is it
Yeah.
fair that I think some of this hate's coming from like comparing it to third party? Do you think that's even a fair comparison? Um, to be honest with
No, that part you're right about because the third parties are specifically, I believe they're specifically geared towards like more adult collectors. So they can do things like, for example, Doctor Wu's swords or Unique Toys Mania King, where if you're not careful, it can actually draw blood from you, and
you.
couldn't do that if it was a child's toy. Yeah.
Tell me about it.
Well, then there's the Captain Shark from KFC. I've heard
Really?
Yep.
numerous times that that thing's like
That thing's
drawn.
super sharp.
It's like a sea urchin. Just don't
Wow.
know where to touch it at times. I mean, that's sometimes I just feel like, I read stuff on the forums and, I have the Combiner Wars and I also buy third party. I'm not some noob that just decided to start buying this stuff. And I get both sides, but I just feel that sometimes it's just, in a way, I mean, I've looked at the Master Universe classes. I always bring that up. I've seen their forums, and it just seems like it's just a bunch of people that just want to complain. It could be the perfect rendition of a character, but they'll find some flaw, like the coloring's off. It's not the right shade of red for Optimus. It's totally off. It shouldn't be that bright. Oh man, that's not even cartoon accurate. I just feel that at times it just, for what it's worth. I mean, we've talked about it. You get a combiner. Let's see, the aerial bots, Superion. You can get that thing for around $90, or you can go and get the Uranos from TF Source, or not TF Source. Excuse me. We can buy it at TF Source, but you can get it at TFC's Uranos figure, and that thing is going to cost you close to
A
$550 or
car
something.
payment.
Yeah, once you get like the Wings of Uranos add-on set and everything else,
That's rent.
and
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
there's a big difference, and it's not a fair comparison at times. I mean,
It's like
kids,
comparing
adult.
like a Honda Accord to a Corvette. You're like, well, the Corvette, it's so much faster and da da da. Well, they're not really in the same category here. The Honda Accord, it is a quick vehicle. It does what it needs to do. You need to go to 0 to 60 and whatever. And it's a nice vehicle. It's quick, but the Corvette is so much faster. So, yeah, if you were drag racing, then the Corvette would be the way to go. But there are two separate categories there. And I kind of look at the Combiner Wars and third party the same way. That Combiner Wars, they do what they're meant to do. And while the third party is, you're supposed to be completely accurate. If
Yeah.
you're not supposed to have any hollowness. You're supposed to be a better, not necessarily quality, but I need to be wowed by you. Where Combiner Wars is like, you know what? If it's pretty close to what I think it should be, let's say with Blades, it's like, hey, Blades shouldn't have any like missiles, on a rescue chopper, but hey, you know what? It's pretty close to what they were trying to do, and what I look at G1 Blades as that. Hey, you know what? It's worth the $15, $16. I refuse to call it $20 just because of Toys R Us, but basically that $15-16 price tag. It does what it's supposed to do. And anyone that kind of complains and be like, "Well, third party is so much better," and what do you expect for $15-16? Did you expect a masterpiece? It's because I think we kind of that again. You're not going to compare Cabana Wars figures with. You're going to compare Cabana Wars Optimus Prime with MP10? No, you wouldn't do that.
No.
They're two separate categories.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that it's just at times Combiner Wars kind of gets a bad hand at times, but to each their own. I mean, the nice thing about what we have is you have variety, and I do like that. And if you have the means to buy third party, that's awesome. If you can't, and you do have another, an outlet to go through, and it's nice to actually have this stuff in a brick and mortar store, opposed to certain other collections. Like I'm a GI Joe fan, and really we don't have that much GI Joe out there to buy, except for maybe at Toys R Us, and it's all the same stuff we've already been introduced to prior years. So I think it is a nice, fresh take on Transformers, even though sometimes you don't agree with like the Robots in the Sky stuff, One Step,
Design choices.
movie stuff, all that type of stuff. But it's variety, and I like having choices out there, and at least it keeps it fresh, and it keeps it at least available for new, collectors, old collectors, and it's nice to go through that nostalgic feel at times too with being a G1 collector. But you have comments, you said, Josh?
Yeah, and just real quick to kind of add what you're saying, it's not always going to be for you. With the RID stuff, hey, it's too kiddie, I was wanting something darker like,
that's
Prime.
definitely
Look,
king.
it wasn't about you this time. So you get to save a little bit of money there, and next time maybe it is about you. So we do have a few comments here. Godbot, did anyone get the Mezco Batman?
Nope.
Trying to remember which one that is. I didn't know. Are you talking about the 1/6 scale? I think I didn't get it. Kenny McKinnon says, "I never felt the line needed rejuvenation. Just kept it going well, or they've kept it going well. Excitement. I'll say that's the word. A good one." He also says, "I agree. Too many complaints. Let's just have fun with our toys. Combiner Wars is refreshing and fun." And I totally agree with that. It was kind of the same thing that like we were talking about earlier. It's, why complain about it? If it's something that you don't like, then you get to save your money on it. Because I was reading a forum where someone was like, "I think that the Masterpiece figures are overrated and they're not up to the standard of what they should be. The Combiner Wars, I think they don't look good or whatever." They said, that RID is too kiddie and not getting that, and they kept on like all this other stuff as they were like, and then Bayformers, those were crap, and then that's all they did was complain, like 4 complaints, basically about everything, and then someone like just replied to him and was like, "Looks like you're saving a ton of money this year." So, or they said on the positive side, you're saving a ton of money this year, and there's plenty of stuff out there. I'm sure most people aren't just Transformer fans.
Yeah.
There's got to be other stuff out there that you like, and like with us, there's the Star Wars Black Line series. It's really great. DC Collectibles Batman animated series. That's great now since they fixed their problems. You got Ninja Turtles that is going really well as far as the basic figures, and you're getting vehicles, you're getting play sets and stuff like that. I mean, there's a ton out there that's really good right now, and if you don't like what Transformers is doing right now, then you might look at some of that, or hey, perfect time to backtrack. If you're just like, hey, I just always love my Armada stuff. Well, do you have all your Armada stuff? Well, since now Hasbro's not putting anything that you like out, Now you can go backtrack that. So I mean, there's always something for you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, that kind of leads me into my next kind of topic. Where do you think Transformer collecting would be without, let's say, eBay?
Ooh.
Um, because I know for me, I got back into really collecting, I guess, especially because when the internet boomed in 95, 96, and then eBay boomed at around the same time. So I was started like, oh wow, I can get some of my old stuff back. Where would we be? We'd be subjected to maybe some forums, buy, sell, trade, all that type of stuff. But without
Yeah.
eBay, where would you actually be? As far as trying to get those backtracked, G1, Armada, anything that's not current, that e-tailers are not carrying anymore.
Carrying more, yeah. That's a good question.
That would
One, I
be.
probably wouldn't be a collector. I wouldn't be in this hobby. So 'cause that's what kind of got me. That's what got me started in. You
Probably
know,
a whole lot of figures I'd never have.
Yeah,
Mhm. I
and,
wonder
and
how.
also eBay kind of helps set the price with whenever not what some idiots put up there. It's like, I want like this price for this. That's what I think it's worth. That's not what it's worth. You look at what it sold for, and then you look at like some of the recent sells for that month, and you're like, okay, if it says $60, and it's like 65, 55, 60, 60, 63, you're like, all right, so about $60 is what that thing is worth, or what it's going for this month because it changes all the time. Uh, you know, that kind of helps set the price of what some of these things are. Whenever you look at some of the Transformer websites,
Hmm.
let's say like TF Source, I know that sometimes they put some G1 stuff up there. It's majority of the time it's a lot more than what it actually starts to sell, what it's selling for on eBay. Whenever you look at sold listings, is what I'm talking about. So I want to make sure that there's no confusion there. We're talking about sold listings. It's always like if it's that item that would be 60, they're always asking like 80 or 90 for it. It's like always quite a bit more. Even them, they have this idea that just because you put G1 on it, that it just like automatically demands this like much higher price than what is reasonable.
yeah, definitely. Some of the G1 stuff is really just outrageously expensive for no apparent reason either. Um, but yeah, eBay is a great place to find a kind of a market price, just ballpark figure. And I mean, even if you're not buying stuff, it's nice to use as a resource as far as for you if you're going to sell or you happen to be going to, let's say, a convention that will be selling stuff like that, so you know for a fact. And you can also use it. I mean, hey, have your phone with you. Most of us have smartphones. Have eBay popped up and go, hey, here it is on eBay. You want to match that price as a buy now? You want to do it, and most likely, sometimes sellers will say, yeah, sure, why not?
Hmm.
I've
Um,
done that.
nice.
Go right there, and they're like, "Look, no, this is the price." I'm like, "Look, it's right here. I've got the money for it. I'm gonna either get it from you from this price, or I'm gonna click buy right now in front of you."
Right in front of you.
Well,
Yes, here we go.
I make sure I
Buy
tell
it
them
now.
that too. I'm this far from touching it. So what do you want to do? And they're like, "All right, we'll do that." I'm like, because I would have done it right in front of them too. Be like, "All right, never mind." And if they, because they, oh, hey, I will. It's too late now. I've already bought it. So, but there's another item over here that I want to look at. Let's
I mean,
talk about that. Here, I got to pull it up.
nice. That's how you do it.
Might be kind of a little bit of a jerk move, but that's how I negotiate, I guess.
There you go. But yeah, I mean, I wanted to throw that out there. I mean, we have the eBay show and stuff. We talk about different pricing, but I've thought about, for me personally, I would really, it would be very difficult, especially trying to get those higher end um, figures, especially when you're
Yeah.
diving into the Japanese stuff. I don't feel like I could find a Metal Hawk or there's a certain maybe timetable back in the day if you started collecting maybe 20 years ago or 10, 15 years ago, where maybe you had a better chance through a forum to get some of those figures. I remember going through some other, other websites that weren't e-tailers. They were just people's made-up websites or whatever. I know Snarl's homepage was one I remember dealing with. But, yeah, I would never be able to get Metro Titan. I would never be able to get Overlord. Some of these guys, and especially being in a community that I live in, I don't interact with collectors. I don't have maybe if I lived in a bigger town like LA or New York or something like that, maybe they could converse with people. I don't live in a huge town that has, or we're all, I guess, keeping ourselves secret and under the radar, so we're not called out as nerds, or I don't know, whatever, maybe, so we can walk the streets safely. I don't know what it is, but
Yeah. Beat up.
So
you're all closet collectors.
But it is what it is, I guess. But I just wanted to throw that out there. Like, I mean, even for the viewers watching, I mean, if you are a collector, not even just with Transformers, just anything G.I. Joe, and you're looking at stuff from when it first came out, and you're trying to backtrack all that stuff, do you use eBay? And if you do, where would your collection be? I mean, have you ever taken the time and going into your collection room and just count the figures that I've purchased this on eBay, this one is on eBay, this one's eBay, this one's eBay, and just feel like, holy crap, I'd have maybe just one single shelf if I counted all the figures that I've picked up off of eBay. Let's see.
Yeah.
Let's just say I wouldn't have been able to get Metroplex or MP10 without eBay.
Drift.
Yeah, you'd have to be a straight up buyer up front. You couldn't be on the fence like, I'll pick that up later on because I'll probably find it on eBay maybe for cheaper. You'd have to be like, okay, Metroplex is out, I need to buy it now because where else am I going to find it? Maybe an e-tailer. Well, once they sell out, I'm SOL.
Same is going to be with Devastator when that comes out. Possibly.
Unless they find that lost warehouse stock that some will claim they find sometimes.
Oh, yeah. I got this storage bin that I just found, and it's got just a ton of black Xerix in there. It's temperature controlled.
I wouldn't have been able to get my Black Convoy.
So, I love
Thank
those.
you, eBay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, definitely.
I'm waiting for that because they were talking about, remember, as far as this year, that there's going to be a lot of restocks of older Masterpiece figures that they're going to be coming out with this year, like they did the Black Rodimus or Black Rodimus Convoy and stuff like that, and there's going to be quite a few others as well. The MP10 was one. I'm waiting for the MP10B. Hopefully that's one, and then I'm going to finally pick that up. So.
Yeah.
This is the year of backtracking. That was my New Year's resolution, that I'm going to backtrack all the Masterpiece figures that I want. I've already started.
Yeah, the Nemesis is nice. I have them on my Unicron shelf with Nemesis Prime, and then my Nemesis that I got from Make Toys. I love that thing. Cape could be a little better, but I like the chain. It's pretty cool.
That head sculpt, man.
Not too bad. I was hoping for a different head, like they did with Hypernovae, but
Oh, really?
oh well.
You don't like the head sculpt for that evil?
No, I do, but I thought there'd be another head sculpt. Like you have Hypernovae.
Oh,
He has
really?
2 head sculpts, I believe. Yeah, get one from
Oh,
the
he
trade,
does?
yeah.
Okay.
I think he does. Maybe I'm mistaken. I don't know. I just think I wish his wings would flare out, but I'm off topic. So, let's see. We talked about that. You guys excited for BotCon? We're starting to finally get into the pace of reveals, and sooner or later, maybe a week before BotCon starts, we'll get that registration out there. Yes, I'm poking fun at it. But what do you guys think? You guys on board now? Gonna book your trip to Chicago, or just like, oh, okay, cool?
No.
I'm just going to get my Icon
No.
package. I just want the figures and possibly get the souvenirs.
I'm gonna be able to do a couple of shit, or actually maybe three. Here I plan on going to the because whenever you like do the BotCon, because I have to travel. There's the plane, there's the hotel. It just, it can add up and get expensive. And then me, lived in Dallas for like 10 years. I got friends there that I can stay with, so I don't need to get a hotel. They'll let me crash for a couple nights, but I can, drive back to Dallas, which I would have to do anyway to get on a plane. Now I'm going to go to Acon. I'm going to go to the Transformer, or not Transformer, but the Toy Expo or whatever they're having in Dallas, which is going to be awesome. It's like their Comic Con or Toy Expo or Dallas Comic Con.
Cool.
And then maybe that thing down with Trent's, maybe in San Antonio, the third option. So now I can go to maybe three instead of just go to one, where I wasn't going to buy any of the box set figures because I wasn't interested in that anyway. But I'd like to maybe try to go to a BotCon every other year. That'd be fun. Kind of meet up with everybody and try to do that.
Yeah. I mean, would you change your mind if, let's say, Dalton, Dakota, me, Chris, others, Trent, you're going to, and would you end up saying, hey, okay, twist my arm, go to BotCon this year?
Well,
Chicago?
that's what y'all did last year.
Yes, we did.
Something like that. Then yeah, I'd have to sell some stuff and so that I could gather the money for it. It's kind of like what I kind of did last year.
I mean, it's
So
always
something
fun
like
to go with
that.
people. Yeah.
I go more for the hanging out with you guys is the plus side of it, or the main reason of going. And then it's also kind of cool to see had quite a few people. It's like, hey, Cybercast guys, Aftercast guys, hey, talk and hang out a little bit and stuff like that. That was fun and kind of meet some of the I guess fans, or other Transformer fans and stuff like that. So that was fun. Also, I mean, it was good times,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Mhm.
full
like camp.
time and
It's like summer camp. I mean, that's what I kind of looked at, and it was fun. Everything that we got to go through. And
got to
see and
have
do.
Dalton on his first vacation. I mean, that was just you can't have that again. He's
Yeah,
gonna be
I mean,
experienced.
I don't know how we're gonna top that. I mean, Dalton, you better really entertain us the next time.
I want you
Don't
to
mute
act
yourself.
like a complete noob again. Oh, he's cussing us. Is that why you muted
He's
him?
probably cussing at us right now. People that he hates us. He's
No,
back.
but that would kind of twist my arm to go. But I would like to just go to BotCon like every other year. I think that would be fun. Maybe
Yeah.
even a TFCon.
See, I want.
wouldn't go there.
I kind of want to go to TFCon this year. Try to go at least because I know Peter Cullen's going to be there. It's going to be in North Carolina. But next year, I'm definitely want to go to BotCon.
See, I'd rather go to Bach on the TFCon this year, just because of Frank Welker and Susan Blue again.
Yeah.
And I mean, nothing against Peter
Have
Cullen,
fun. Have fun paying for that extra charge
Wait.
to see.
I heard that Peter Cullen was going to be a BotCon too this year. Is that not true?
well, let's lie. That's first news. Trent, are you saying that
Wait,
Peter Cullen's
wait,
going to
wait,
be at
no, no, no.
BotCon
I thought I heard-
2015?
Wait. No.
I have Trent in my ear here.
I'm asking.
Oh, okay.
asking.
Oh.
It's-
That's news to us. I haven't heard anything either.
Tristan, was that also a Titan class Triptychon that you said?
No, I
Breaking
wasn't,
news
I
here
wasn't
left and right.
stating- I wasn't stating. I was asking.
Okay.
Is
Yeah,
that a confirmed Generations 6 shot?
Yeah. Is it confirmed that
I
Takara
hope so.
Tomy owns Fans Project? You saying?
Trent
I
said
wouldn't
you
be
were
surprised. Now that I wouldn't be surprised at.
And the direction they're going is GoBots 2016. All GoBots, no Transformers. Transformers is dead. GoBots.
You wouldn't really complain about it. I'd be like, save money this year.
Save money this year. I can buy that car finally.
Yeah. Yeah, I can definitely finish up the masterpiece line.
I can eat steak all week.
Oh yes, steak dinners. all the time. I can finish up animated quite a bit of G1.
So, okay. I don't have anything else, guys. Sorry. Still got vacation on the brain. Anything else? You guys want to discuss
You got
outside of Transformers?
one more comment here from Kenny McKinnon. I'm sorry if I'm not saying it right, but it says, I haven't touched eBay once. I got lucky with a great toy shop nearby. Any of you guys have any of those like little privately owned, kind of like we carry vintage stuff, toy shops nearby? I have one, and I forget what they call it. But they have their main store is just like tables, and it's just like 5 people in there like hanging out playing like Magic the Gathering or some I don't know what game they're playing, so I don't know anything about those card games, but they've got like a couple little vintage things, but there's nothing, like carded like that, and they've got like a couch with like a video game system and TV. If they put a little bit more care and thought into it and maybe got some better merchandise, then they'd be, it'd be a really cool shop, but it's mainly one of those, I don't know, like Dungeons and Dragons and Magic the Gathering type things. I don't know what all those card game places are, but I know that there's one in Dallas, Dallas Vintage Toys, which I follow a lot of their stuff on like Facebook and YouTube, and man, I'd like to work there. They carry everything from Hot Toys to vintage, loose and box, but they make sure they get it complete, and like they'll put it in like a baggie, like so all your Masters of the Universe figures and Star Wars and whatever, they're Ninja Turtles that are loose, but they make sure they gather all the pieces and then they put them in a baggie so it makes it easy to shop, and they carry everything. And they just moved to a new location, so. Any of you guys have anything like that that you can go to, like vintage stuff?
For me, I have a buddy who has stuff, but if I go up to Canada, to Vancouver, I know there's a lot of shops that have vintage G.I. Joe, Star Wars, Transformers, stuff like that. But
You're that close to Canada?
I am like maybe 6 hours away.
Oh wow, that's far.
Wow.
That's not that far. I used to do shopping trips 4 hours away for a day and come back. That's what I used to do at times. But I mean, it's closer than going to California or something else. But yeah, I don't have anything. I wish I did. I mean, I have a couple comic book shops locally, but they don't hardly carry. I did buy my masterpiece Starscream, my Japanese MP3 there. The import Walmart version, but that was just like finding a needle in a haystack type thing.
Yeah, I think there's one other comic book shop here, but they don't. It's just strictly comics. So.
Yeah, I don't know of any here in Colorado. Mainly because I haven't looked yet.
Why don't you look, man? Or
well, it's kind of hard to when you're 3 hours away from a major city.
Civilization.
Yeah.
Civilization. They're on the boonies. Cool. You have electricity out there, I see. Or are you running off a generator?
I would say it's quite that bad.
All right. You got running water.
In a small town.
He's got a water. They've got a water mill. Generating electricity.
He's got a well for his drinking water. Yeah, I don't like the fact that being away from like major cities, I would hate the fact that if I didn't have like let's say a couple of Walmart's, Targets, Toys R Us, like 20 minutes away from me, that would really be like, oh man, I have to travel like 2 hours away to go to a Toys R Us. I'd be like, and most likely they're not going to have anything. It's like that's going to suck so bad. But
I guess I'm kind of spoiled then.
You are, man. I see your stinking videos every time. I'm like, okay, here we are doing another, toy hunting video. I'm like, what the hell? Oh my god, he's got that already? And he's just like, just doesn't care. Oh yeah, I think they got these like Avengers Thanos ones. Oh, those are pretty cool. I move on. Like, oh, what the mother son of a man, this isn't live. I can't text him right now and say pick up, shoot. Um,
So that's
so,
why I love to live in the Denver area.
Yeah.
Then it puts me close to the airport.
You know, we have, I guess, within a 5 mile radius of my house. Well, Target and Walmart are about not even a half a mile from my house, but within a 5 mile radius, it's like 3 or 4 Walgreens, the Target, 3 Walmarts, Toys R Us, and Hastings.
Yeah.
I also live on the main. I also live on the main strip too, so, or like right off of it, about like a quarter mile. So.
I mean, I got a ton of WalMarts too, and I mean, my wife told me back when, before we had kids, we were thinking about moving, and I'm like, okay, that's cool. And we visited the place at the city that we were moving to, and I'm like, okay, so yeah, so would you be happy there? I'm like, what do you mean? Well, we'd be leaving. Your collection would be kind of, you wouldn't be able to go to, Walmart, because I have about 8 Walmarts within a nice 7 mile radius, 4 Targets.
Mm-hmm.
Only 1 Kmart, 1 Toys R Us, unfortunately, but I got like Shopgoes, I got Fred Meyer's, I got all this type of other stuff, and it's been really nice to be able to find current stuff when I want to, unless it's something really obscure. At times I don't find, but I do wish that I had some more really distinct stores that actually were like, oh, I can go in there and they have vintage stuff, and I'd be like, oh wow, there's oh, okay, you got some new Star Wars stuff, cool, let me check it out, or whatever it may be. But
Here you can't find anything until after you've already bought it and it's already started shipping from an e-tailer.
It sucks.
Whenever I move back to Dallas, like I don't care what I'm doing, that I'd like to go to like one of those places and be like, yo, I'd like to work part time,
Yeah, that'd be cool.
just be around the stuff, and maybe there's a discount, maybe not, who knows. But do have some
comment?
questions.
Question? Oh, question.
Let's see. This one's from Kenny. He's talking about, I've got a place called the Toy Vault, new and old toys, everything I've got is from there. All my Beast Wars and older figures for sure.
Is that in Rhode Island?
I
I've seen an eBay account called the Toy Vault. Sorry.
Then you got a couple of questions from James Rich. He says, are any of y'all buying doubles of Combined War figures? I want to build my Menasor, but my Stunticons look so great individually to display too. Just wondering. That's a good point, because that was kind of the whole reason. Before the third-party add-on to kind of help Menasor out, I was looking at it as just buying them individually, and that's how I'm going to have them on the shelf. Now that I see that ad, I'm like, that looks pretty nice. And them being kind of simple and Combined War figures, I got a feeling that I'm gonna take those off the shelf more and kind of mess with them, and maybe I'll display them a different way. To where with the third-party stuff, like the Make Toys Green Giant or the Mastermind Creations Feral Rex or any of the third parties, that there's a little bit more to the transformations, and I might even have to grab the directions again to try to transform it toward the Combined War stuff. It's a little bit more simplified. I'll probably mess with the Combined War stuff and display it back and forth several different times instead of buying doubles. Where with third-party stuff, no, I don't even touch it. I just put it in a nice pose. There it is on the shelf, and yeah, there you go. I don't really ever grab stuff down unless I'm gonna take some pictures and stuff like that. So.
I might buy doubles. I don't know yet because I want to get the comics for all the Combined Wars figures, but I don't know.
That's an expensive comic, man.
Yeah.
For me, I probably might buy doubles. I used to buy doubles of the Transformers Prime series because I wanted them in robot mode and vehicle mode. And these are looking really nice. I want 2 Megatrons. If I ever find a G1 Megatron again, I'll probably pick it up. But I don't know. I do like the Stunticons. I think that they look really good, and it'd be kind of cool to have them individually and, combined also on the shelf. And since they're still available, I mean, I do have the Superion, the Takara version on order, so I might be able to go with that route, having the Takara versions along with the Hasbro, but we'll see. Might pick and choose.
Oh, I got more.
Oh, you got more? Okay.
This one's from James Rich as well. He says, Saber, Saber, are you going to do reviews by any chance of your new Dinobots? Talking about Fans Project, I guess, there. Oh,
I might.
A lot more now.
I don't really do a lot of third-party reviews. But yeah, I might do Kubrar because I really like that one. Clumpio's pretty cool. But yeah, I might, yeah, sure, probably. I probably won't do a review of Toy World Orion because I like the transformation, but
Could just skip it.
yeah, he's just a finicky little prick at
He
times. Well, I mean, you can get stress marks on him if you're not careful. But I do like the going from little fix-it here, being the little one step, to the intricacy of Toy World Orion. I mean, it's pretty nice, but I don't know if I want to do it on camera and stuff. But yeah, I'll end up probably doing some of that. I just haven't had the time because having 2 kids and quite frankly, I'm lazy at times. I'd rather use my free time to kind of relax and do something else. But yeah, I'll end up doing that.
This one's from Kenny. He says, yeah, the Toy Vault is from Rhode Island.
Yes,
That's most likely the eBay account you've seen. Then Godbot says, I have 1 vintage and 1 modern store by me. I just got Transformers Universe Volume 1 from the vintage store for $10.
Wow.
But you have to dig and find stuff. Yeah, sometimes by digging and finding stuff, sometimes you find some gems, but I'd rather have stuff more organized, personally.
Yeah.
Tulalaw says, do you think Hasbro will ever do a giant Unicron ever again?
That'd be awesome. Getting a Titan
They
class
could.
Unicron.
I mean, and put it into the Titan class. Here's the thing, though. Here's the kicker. Would the Transformers community accept Unicron being the same size as Metroplex? Because I don't think they can go any bigger than that.
No.
So could you accept that as, like, oh, I got Unicron, cool, Titan class, but he's the same exact size. Maybe a little bit bigger because maybe you make his wings, a little bit.
He
So
would
he's
just
a little bit
appear
taller.
to be bigger, but as far as height, probably be about the same.
Yeah. Would you like that?
I would love
I
that.
think that'd be cool.
Yeah,
Don't
I
give
mean,
us any
I don't
stupid,
think
crazy
you can-
colors. Just give us the original colors here. Let's.
Give us the original and the Energon colors.
Oh, the dead
And
one.
Yeah,
like you said,
that black and the orange, that looked awesome. Or
and like
green.
you said, they really can't get any bigger
Yeah.
than Metroplex Titan class.
Yeah.
Unless they go with the Make
Really?
Toys April Fool's joke.
Because Make Toys is making one that's I forget how many meters
It's like
tall.
it's 9 foot, 3 meters.
Only 9 feet? Oh, man, that's disappointing.
It's scale.
Wow, to transform that thing, that would be great.
Just to
Dude,
bring
you
it
have
to
to
your
have
house.
friends over to help you transform it.
Transform that, have a really wide lens and everything else to get everything.
You've got like Dalton and I were just like holding the arm, and like, come on. It's like, hang on,
Snap it into
I'm
place.
trying to get that elbow joint.
To move.
I can't
Yeah.
tab it in. I can't tab it in. It's not going.
Gotta
Yeah,
get a
can you
camera.
get that shoulder peg in?
Like, come on, Dalton, how much you bench, bro?
Yeah, they better be
I mean,
ratchet
just
joints and
imagine-
not ball joints.
Can Can you imagine trying to move a
Right?
ratchet joint
Well,
that
a Voltron would
size?
be worse. Just have
Oh,
him
Yeah.
holding up something above your bed, and just
it just
next thing
crushes
you
it.
know,
Pow.
you're crushed, dead.
Yeah.
Okay,
Feel
let's go
bad
over
toy.
articulation. I did sign a waiver. Here we go.
Yep. Just don't get your hand or your finger. Just don't get your hand or arm stuck in one of those ratchet joints.
Oh,
Been transforming him for 48 hours nonstop. We're
that's gonna be
getting
a
there.
long review.
Be
But
10
disfigured
out,
by a
10 out
giant
review.
toy.
yeah. Um, yeah, I would. I think having Unicron. I mean, that would be really cool to get a Unicron again, bigger, obviously. But yeah, I don't think they can ever get past the Titan class. And
No.
it would be cool if they got a Primus also.
Yeah. Uh,
But
get a
yeah,
couple of moons that either turn into weapons or separate bots of their own.
yeah. I'm surprised a
That'd be really
third-party
cool.
company hasn't touched Unicron yet. It doesn't have to be like huge as far as scale, but as far as just intricacy and just look, I think like Mastermind Creations or Make Toys would make a really
Yeah.
fantastic-looking Unicron.
You know,
But
like you were saying earlier, that I don't think fans could get past the fact that Unicron would be the same size as like Metroplex or Devastator. And that's what the problem is with a lot of the Transformer fandom. Not everyone, so I don't want to generalize us and put us all in one category. But a lot of people, like the people that do a lot of time in the forums, where they just complain and complain and complain. It's like, what would you? Even if you decide not to buy it, I mean, it's cool that they're doing this for us,
yeah,
and they're trying to, keep ideas fresh, and they're trying to kind of wow us a little bit there. And would you rather them just not do it at all, just not even attempt it, you know?
Yeah.
Because what if with them doing it? What if it spawns another idea, and then that they come out with something that you like, you know? I mean, so even if they come, like if they this year, or let's say next year, they're like, hey, all we're doing is coming out with Beast Wars figures. I'm not, gonna buy any of those. But you know what? Again, there's no reason to like complain about it. It's just, hey, there's just nothing I don't like this year, because I don't like Beast Wars.
Yeah.
So, like we said before, I got other stuff I can do. But if they're like, hey, that was really successful, let's come out with some of these. We were never going to come out with like Double Cross or what are some of the
grotesque and
Grotesque. We weren't ever going to come out with any of those, but because they're Beast and we'll ride that wave, we'll come out with those. So now you get some of those kind of characters that you might not get, that are kind of like little side characters. They're not really that mainstream. Maybe they come out with those, and I think that would be kind of cool. So
yeah. I mean, it goes back to our kind of topics that we discussed in the beginning. Where would we be as far as collectors if, let's say, there was no third party, there was no eBay, as far as just this is what you got out there in the stores, that's what you have, and then you got to find all this other stuff some other means. I mean, we have it easy as far as Transformers fans. I mean, because what other fandom in a way has a third party as big as Transformers? Companies out there that are wanting to build these and engineer these products and charge us an arm and a leg, but we're willing to pay that arm and a leg for these characters because we
Yeah.
want that IDW, inspired character that we know Hasbro won't do it or will get to it for another couple years. It's really awesome. I mean, Fans Toys, Gigapower, you got Dinobots, masterpiece size, Bullsfire. And you don't have to worry about Takara Tomy getting like, oh yeah, okay, we'll get into that. You can have it right now. There's no other fandom out there. I mean, Master Universe Classics, no. GI Joe, no.
even Ninja Turtles, the only third party you got out of that is that Krang that's $150, It's much larger. It has LEDs and stuff like that, and it's really cool looking. But yeah, I'd like a third-party company to give us these classic style figures. That Crane, it kind of works that him being bigger, but at $150, it's a little much. But then you'd shrink the rest of them down, like your Shredder and your Foot Soldier and Metalhead and whatnot.
Yeah.
You'd shrink those down, price goes down. There's no need for LEDs, so price goes down. You know, I think that thing has die-cast. There's no reason to put die-cast in a Shredder. You know, so I don't know how much they'd be able to charge.
They're actual blades.
Oh yeah, well I guess they could, but
Exactly.
or Metalhead is complete die-cast. But you know, a third-party company to even make Ninja Turtle figures. You know, if you could get them for a reasonable price, you know, like in that for that classic scale, that Playmates has said that they've just put on hold. Like we're not getting our Krang and we're not getting our Shredder now.
Till the next movie comes out or whatever.
Yeah, so you know, that sucks. But you know, Transformer fans, man, not only do you have at least one third-party company, you got tons. Hey, and with Astro Train, you got 3 options. You like Predaking? Hey, you got you know, several options there too.
Dinobots.
Dinobots, hey, not just you're getting a third-party
5?
option, you're getting a ton of third-party options with, you know, third-party Dinobots. So
And they combine.
yeah, now they're doing crap that they're not even supposed to do. So you know, look at some of the other fandoms, like, you know, let's say even Ninja Turtles, which is one of the best toy lines right now. It's the best-selling toy line the past, I think, 3 years. As far as, like, you know, kind of like basic figures in toy stores, is the Ninja Turtle basic line. And they can't even get a third-party company. You got one third-party company that made one figure, Krang. You know, Transformers, dude, not only do you have them, you have multiples to choose from. So there's no reason to complain as far as a Transformer fan.
The only reason to complain is you don't have enough money to buy it all. That's it. I mean,
Yeah.
or you have to put out a second mortgage, or you have to sell off your firstborn, or you have to, you know, work another job. But anything else you guys want to talk about? We can get off the Transformers topic. You know, Ninja Turtles. Is there a new episode tomorrow, or are they gone back into hiatus for a little bit?
Yeah, they need to quit doing that.
Last one we got was Shredder versus Casey Jones. That's what I remember.
What?
But
I didn't see that one.
oh well,
I'm behind, I guess. Still,
sorry.
it's whenever the illegal website uploads.
Get on that illegal website. Start pirating more stuff.
I know. I get to see all the screening copies of these movies that are out in theaters. Not the dude sitting there with a camera phone or whatever, but the screening copies is what I get to watch.
Since you brought up the third-party Astro Trains, really glad to see that one company's still coming out with theirs, so I might go with that.
Oh, the Chug one.
Yeah.
Yeah, fourth party club or something. I forgot what they're calling themselves.
I mean, I think it'd look great in the Chug shelf, so.
Oh, yeah.
Then you get a full locomotive with the coal car. Just looks great.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's cool.
And I think it's supposed to have like some little thing coming out of the storage bay of the shuttle.
Oh, like a little mechanical arm. Or something. Yeah, I saw that. That was pretty cool. It's a nice little added touch.
That was it for comments and stuff.
All right. Well, I think we'll just end it there. We've been going for about a little over an hour. Don't really have anything else to talk about. So, you guys want to
just in case anyone... Oh, I'm sorry. I just want to say I was looking, just in case somebody might have misheard me. No, it doesn't look like Peter Cullen's going to be at this year's BotCon. I mean, I looked at the appearances.
Everybody get it.
Oh, man. That is not reflection on the Aftercast, Cybercast, Victory Saber 77. That is Trent's 5.
You can quit.
And I was asking a question. And I was asking a question. Wasn't making a statement.
All right. Peter Cullen.
So many
in fact,
conventions you get
directly
confused on it.
emailed me. something. What?
There's so many conventions out. I get confused on them.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Why would Peter Cullen go to BotCon? He could have gone to BotCon last year, but his agent screwed that up, and he went to the Texas something instead. And, oh, whoops! I
Yeah.
booked it for the same weekend as my
But yeah.
BotCon was. Okay, well, but if you want the Peter Cullen experience, only drop what $300, $300 or something like that.
Uh-huh.
You can follow me around.
I do not need the experience.
So,
Yeah.
but all right, we'll just end it there. So thank you for all the viewers. I really do appreciate you guys watching, especially if you carried over from the Cybercast. Really do appreciate it. If you guys want to outro yourselves, Dalton.
I'm Dalton. You can find me on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at DaltoniansTFs. Got Darkwing Duck Cartoon Mondays coming up on the 20th, so check that out.
20th, what time?
6 p.m. Central Standard
6
Time.
p.m. Central Standard Time. Cool.
Or, yeah. Yeah.
Josh.
You can find me G1 Hextron on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and my Facebook page is the G1 Hextron.
Trent.
Trent5 at Facebook and Twitter.
Swear I should be starting to get more stuff. I should be saying I'm Victory Saber 77 at Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, Tumblr, Facebook,
Yeah.
eBay, Xbox Live, PS.
I still don't have an
Network.
Instagram.
I can get you all these accounts. Like that one time I signed Dakota up for Russian mail order site. Because I had his email and stuff like that. He was like, dude, what the hell is all this? I was like, oh yeah, I signed you up for this. He was like, dude, I started getting like 5 emails from like these people
From
spamming
Natasha.
me. Yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah,
You don't speak
Ilyana.
very good English, but I will marry you for a green card. Okay, what?
Yeah, he wasn't sure what was going on. I was like, yeah, that was me, bro.
Well, I'm Victory Saber 77. You can find me at YouTube and Twitter. That's all I do. I don't do anything else. Sorry. But we have some other shows. The Cybercast. It airs every Saturday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. It is in video form right now on G1X's channel, so go check that out. We also have an eBay show, which airs once a month on Thursday at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time on G1X's channel again. And stay tuned next week for the Aftercast again, right here, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. And have a good week.
All right, peace.